Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a request that came straight from you guys, wisdom for entrepreneurs,
Hmm,
and get this from the Bible.
you heard right. We're going deep into the story of Abraham and Lot,
Okay.
mining it for surprisingly relevant business lessons,
Interesting.
especially when it comes to tough decisions and building a business with integrity.
You sent over some fascinating sources, and I have to admit, I was intrigued.
Yeah.
We're going to unpack some timeless insights
Sure.
on conflict management, wise decision-making, stuff that's as relevant in the boardroom today as it was back then.
You might be wondering, like, what can these ancient stories teach me about today's business world?
Right.
The answer is a lot more than you might think.
Okay.
Human nature and the core challenges of leadership, well, they haven't really changed that much.
Exactly. Before we jump in, let's set the stage for anyone not up on their Bible stories.
Okay.
We've got Abraham and his nephew Lot living that nomadic life.
Right.
Herds are growing, and suddenly their herdsmen are at each other's throats over grazing land.
Yeah.
Classic. Resource scarcity, classic conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Sound familiar?
It's like two startups battling over the same niche market, tensions rising,
Oh, yeah.
and suddenly that friendly competition gets a little too real.
So things are heating up.
Yeah,
How does Abraham handle this?
right.
He could have pulled rank, but all, hey, I'm the senior guy here.
Totally.
Maybe even force Lot out.
Right. But he takes a different approach,
Okay.
a surprisingly modern one.
Really?
He proposes a peaceful separation.
Okay.
And here's the kicker. He lets Lot pick the land first.
Oh, wow.
This isn't just about avoiding conflict.
Right.
It's strategic.
Okay.
Abraham's prioritizing long-term relationships and harmony over a short-term win.
It's like he's playing 3D chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers.
Exactly.
He's thinking about the bigger picture, the long game.
Think about it. What if Lot had felt forced out, resentful? That could have festered, maybe even turned into future competition or sabotage down the line.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lot, presented with this choice, sees this lush, fertile valley, jackpot, right?
Looks like it.
Yep.
There's always a but.
There is.
He settles near Sodom, a city notorious for its, let's say, less than stellar ethical reputation.
Oh.
It's a classic entrepreneur trap, being seduced by what looks good on the surface without considering the potential downsides.
It's like going into business with someone just because they have a killer presentation.
Yes.
You skip the due diligence.
Yep.
Don't check references. Ignore those gut feelings.
Totally.
Uh.
Precisely. Lot's choice is a powerful lesson in risk assessment.
Yeah.
In business, we've got frameworks for this SWOT analysis, Porter's 5 forces.
Mhm.
We identify the threats, the weaknesses.
Right.
Lot got dazzled by the upside and forgot to analyze the downside.
And we're not just talking about ancient history here. Think about industries with explosive growth, but maybe questionable ethics.
Are you willing to sacrifice your values for a piece of that pie?
It's a question every entrepreneur has to face at some point.
Yeah.
Are you building a business for short-term gains or legacy?
Okay, so we've got this stark contrast.
Yeah.
Abraham, the long-term strategist,
Mm-hmm.
and Lot chasing the immediate win.
Right.
But this isn't just about business deals, right?
No.
This resonates on a personal level, too.
Absolutely. It's about how we approach life,
Right.
our decision-making process.
Mm-hmm.
Are we thinking 10 steps ahead like Abraham, or reacting to what's right in front of us?
Abraham's demonstrating a key leadership principle,
Yeah,
considering the second and third order effects of your choices.
that's it.
That's what sets apart successful entrepreneurs, the ones who build businesses that last.
And it's not just about the big decisions.
Right.
It's the everyday choices.
Yeah.
Who you hire, the deals you make, the corners you're willing to cut or not cut.
Mm-hmm.
Each one has a ripple effect.
Wow. Food for thought.
Okay, so to sum up what we've got so far,
Okay.
manage conflict constructively.
Mm-hmm.
Think long term.
Yep.
Don't get seduced by surface appearances.
Right.
And know your why, what values are guiding your choices.
And remember, even with the best planning, things don't always go as expected.
Oh, boy.
And that's where part 2 of Abraham and Lot's story gets really interesting.
Hold on to your hats, folks, because when we come back, we're going to see how Abraham deals with a whole new set of challenges. And trust me, there are more lessons to be learned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We left off with Lot making a decision that, well, let's just say it had some serious consequences.
Right. He was drawn to that fertile Jordan plain, but that put him right next door to Sodom,
Right.
a city known for its, shall we say, less than ethical practices.
It's like building your dream startup right next to a company with a reputation for cutting corners and shady deals. Not
Exactly.
exactly the ideal environment for growth or, frankly, peace of mind.
Exactly. And as you might imagine, things don't go so smoothly for Lot. He gets tangled up in the conflicts and turmoil of the region.
Uh-oh.
And eventually, he and his family have to flee for their lives.
This is a powerful reminder that even when we do our due diligence, assess the risks, sometimes unforeseen circumstances can still throw a wrench in the works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's where Abraham's story takes a fascinating turn. Instead of saying, I told you so, or washing his hands of the situation,
Yeah.
Abraham steps up and demonstrates what true leadership is all about.
Wait, so even though Lot basically ignored his advice, Abraham still comes to his rescue.
He does. When Abraham hears that Lot's been taken captive, he gathers his men and goes to war to rescue him. Talk about going above and beyond for family even when they haven't made the best choices.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this. In the business world, we often talk about co-opetition, that blend of cooperation and competition.
Right.
Even rivals can sometimes find common ground and benefit from helping each other out.
That's a great connection. Yeah. Abraham understood that principle centuries ago. His actions weren't just about rescuing Lot.
Right.
They were about building alliances, fostering goodwill, and establishing himself as a leader people could trust.
This makes me think about companies that build a reputation for ethical conduct, even when it's not the easy choice. It might cost them in the short term,
Yeah.
but in the long run, it pays off in terms of customer loyalty, brand strength, and even attracting top talent.
You're hitting on a key point. The long-term value of integrity. Abraham's actions had a ripple effect not just on his immediate circle, but on the entire region. He earned respect and influence not through force or dominance, but through compassion and a willingness to help even those who hadn't always followed his advice.
So we've seen how Abraham handles conflict, makes decisions with a long-term perspective, and demonstrates true leadership even in adversity. But I feel like there's another layer to his story, something that goes beyond strategy and tactics.
You're right. Throughout his journey, Abraham is guided by a deep sense of faith. He believes there's a higher purpose to his life and trusts that he's being led in the right direction.
Now, we don't have to get into a religious debate here.
Right.
But I think what you're getting at is that sense of purpose, that belief in something bigger than yourself that can be a powerful driving force for an entrepreneur.
Exactly. It's about having a clear vision, a set of values that guide your decisions even when the path ahead is uncertain. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs, the ones who've made a real impact. They're not just driven by profit.
Right.
They're fueled by passion, by a belief in what they're building.
It's like Simon Sinek's start with why. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And that why, that purpose, that belief, it resonates with others and creates a powerful connection.
This brings us to a critical point. What is your why? What are you building, and how will it make a positive impact on the world? This isn't just about warm and fuzzy feelings. It's about sustainable success.
So we've explored Abraham's conflict resolution skills, his long-term thinking, his leadership in the face of adversity, and now this idea of purpose-driven entrepreneurship. What other gems can we unearth from this ancient story?
Well, there's one more crucial lesson that we can glean from Abraham's journey, one that ties everything together. And that's the power of...
Welcome back to the deep dive. It feels like we've unearthed a treasure trove of insights from this story of Abraham and Lot.
You're right. We've covered a lot of ground: conflict resolution, long-term thinking leadership in the face of adversity, and finding your why.
Right.
But the real value is in applying these ancient lessons to the modern entrepreneurial world.
Let's bring it home. What are the concrete takeaways, the actionable advice we can all glean from these, shall we say, seasoned entrepreneurs?
First up, managing conflict constructively. Remember how Abraham handled that land dispute with Lot?
Yeah, he was so cool about it.
He prioritized the relationship, found a peaceful solution, even let Lot choose first.
Wow.
No power plays, no scorched earth tactics.
It's like that saying, leave the ego at the door.
Exactly.
Sometimes taking the high road isn't just about being nice, it's a strategic advantage. It preserves those crucial relationships that are the lifeblood of any business.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that collaboration can often be more powerful than competition, especially in the long run.
Which brings us to our next takeaway, thinking long-term.
Okay.
Lot's choice of that fertile valley seemed like a no-brainer at the time, but it led him straight into a mess.
It did.
Shortcuts often cut long journeys short, don't they?
They do. And this isn't just about avoiding risky deals or partnerships. It's about building a business with a solid foundation, one that can weather the inevitable storms. That means making decisions that might not pay off immediately, but set you up for sustained success.
It's like investing in your team, building a strong company culture, focusing on customer satisfaction. These things might not show up on a balance sheet right away,
Right.
but they're the bedrock of a lasting enterprise.
Absolutely. And that leads us to our third takeaway. Make decisions that are in alignment with your values and goals.
Hmm.
We saw how consistently Abraham demonstrated this. He wasn't chasing fleeting trends or quick wins.
Right.
He was guided by something deeper, a sense of purpose that informed every choice he made.
It's that idea we talked about earlier, finding your why.
Yes.
But it's not enough to just identify it. You have to live it, breathe it, let it be the compass that guides your business.
And this raises a crucial question for all of us listening today.
Okay.
What are the Sodoms in your industry? Those tempting opportunities, the shiny objects that might lead to unforeseen consequences, the deals that compromise your values, the partnerships that erode your integrity.
Oh, that's a good one. It's so easy to get swept up in the hype, the pressure to grow at all costs, the fear of missing out. But Abraham's story reminds us to pause, step back, and ask ourselves, does this opportunity align with who I am, what I stand for, where I want to go?
And remember, as an entrepreneur, every choice you make has a ripple effect. It impacts your team, your customers, your community, the world. So choose wisely.
So there you have it, Abraham and Lot, an ancient story packed with timeless wisdom for the modern entrepreneur. We've covered a lot of ground, but this is just the beginning.
This story is a springboard for reflection. What resonated with you most? What are your Sodoms? We'd love to continue this conversation. Share your thoughts on social media using #TheDeepDive.
And until next time, keep diving deep.